I'm Emmy.
I'm Sadie.
I'm Maddie. That's Gretel.
I'm Madison.
And I'm Scott.
These are my note cards. Now I gotta get them back in order. Hold on. Okay, ready? During my junior year of high school, it was announced that my school would offer a trip to Washington, D.C. to attend the annual March for Life rally for life. The spots on this trip were first come, first serve, so I quickly jumped at the opportunity to go on this life-changing trip. I had never been to our nation's capital before, so to say I was excited would be an understatement. This trip was planned for the middle of January, so the weather was cold and snowy the entire time we were there. We knew that it would be cold, but little did we know what kind of challenges the weather would actually bring us on this journey. In this speech, you will learn about the purpose of this trip, the March for Life itself, and the blizzard that made this trip so unforgettable. The goal of this trip was to participate in the annual March for Life rally, standing up for the lives of unborn babies. We chose to stand up for the right to life. This is relevant in our society today because of the growing number of abortions that are performed each year. The other purpose of this trip was to visit all of the monuments in Washington, D.C., while also visiting large churches and basilicas in the area. I was most excited for the sightseeing aspect of this trip because I had never seen all of the monuments in person. We had a very limited amount of time to visit all of the monuments and museums because of the bad weather that was expected in the coming days. Nonetheless, we visited all the famous monuments, toured the Holocaust Museum, and visited a Smithsonian museum of our choice. The annual March for Life rally was organized as a result of the Supreme Court decision in the Roe v. Wade case legalizing abortion. This is the world's largest pro-life event, with people coming from all over the country to participate. It is a peaceful protest to stop abortion in our society today. I learned a lot from this rally and was really moved by the large amount of people that came from all over the country to speak up about this issue. We attended a pro-life concert the night before the march to get us all excited for the upcoming event. This really made the march more energetic and exciting for us. The real excitement of the trip didn't begin until we left the march itself. The march was on Friday, and we were supposed to leave Washington on Saturday evening to drive back to Omaha. Instead, we left on the bus right after the march on Friday afternoon because of the winter storm predictions for the weekend. We were all bummed that we wouldn't be able to take our tour of the Capitol building, but we were content with the plans that were changed. On our drive home, we got stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the interstate. This didn't seem too unusual to us, as Washington, D.C. is such a big city that there is always traffic. Hours went by, and we had eventually made our way to Pennsylvania before getting stuck again. By that time, it was already dark outside, and we hadn't moved for hours. We were stuck in the snow. About 5 miles ahead of us was a semi-truck that had gotten stuck going up a hill, so therefore everyone behind the truck was stuck also. We were stuck on the Pennsylvania Turnpike for over 24 hours, not being able to move the bus at all. Lucky enough for our bus, we were only about 1 mile away from a rest stop, so that was where we could use the restroom and walk to. We brushed our teeth in the snow and ate fruit snacks for breakfast because all we had left was snacks that were left over. After being stuck for over After being stuck for over 24 hours, we finally dug ourselves out of the snow and were able to move. After finding a way off the interstate, we spent the night in a historic hotel in Pennsylvania that so kindly opened their doors and let our very large group sleep on the floor of their ballrooms. We ended up moving it back. We ended up making it back to Omaha on Monday morning around 8 o'clock. Some people have asked me if I regret going on that trip, since it was one disaster after another, but I don't regret going at all. Going on this trip was definitely life-changing and memorable. No one had anticipated that we would be stuck on a bus for over 24 hours, not knowing when we would get home. Through this trip, I learned to go with the flow more because usually I like to do what is planned for the day, but once we got on that bus, there were no plans. I would absolutely go on this trip again, but I would probably be traveling in an airplane instead of a bus.
Is that it?
Yeah.